Today, 5 compelling reasons you might want to consider pellets in your parrot's diet, or 5 compelling reasons why giving your parrots, if you already are, pellets in their diet is really a beneficial thing. Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond. Get your copy on Amazon today. This is the back of my incredible, and that's the front, Pioneer's parrot. Ale is a white-crowned Pioneer. I love parrots. Parrots are my bliss. If you want to get inspired and create a blissful bond with your parrot through diet, through understanding your parrot, through being a great parrot keeper, and really giving your parrot everything, you're in the right place. If you're already used to hanging out and you've already subscribed, you've probably already set your preferences to have YouTube let you know when Ale is fluttering his wings, when the next video posts. So let's get talking about pellets. So guys, first I want to tell you that, I know in Europe they don't do pellets as much, and I'm kind of curious how they handle some of these things, but here goes for you. Here are the things that I really want you to consider, because I was talking with one of my members, and what it is YouTube lets you have a membership. It is paid, it's not very expensive. My members get extra videos, and we have a Discord forum where we get to connect, and it's really cool. We post pictures, we can talk more, love it. And so one of my members has a Cape parrot, and of course capes are one of my favorites, and we were talking about diet, and it was a really good conversation, and I thought it was some really important points that we ought to talk about. So the first compelling reason why I think that pellets should be in your diet is a lot of people are kind of worried about their female parrot getting egg bound. Now, if you don't know what that means, during the spring when parrots tend to reproduce, the females, really called hens, they will start to produce eggs, not always, but they can, and sometimes those eggs can get stuck in their body. Now, when I've asked about this, I have been told, and I think, my mentor said, if you're feeding a good diet, it's just not an issue. Dismissed the whole concern, because if you're feeding a good diet, problem solved. I will say that in my flock, and I have a couple of parrots, since I have over 20 species, and I have parrots that do breed. I've never had an egg-bound parrot. The only exception may be happening right now. I had a Brotogerius, and I pronounce it wrong, but I don't remember how to pronounce it correctly. You also may know him as a canary wing, surrendered to me, and it's supposed to be a male. I haven't had a chance to DNA, and there's something going on. The vet said either it's a soft egg or there's like a tumor or congenital liver issue, and the vet's like, there's not much to be done. I don't know what the diet was before me, so I don't know what's going on. Now, what's a soft egg? Well, when a parrot has a poor diet, and it's not like you're meaning to give your parrot a poor diet, it's like the list of vitamins and minerals, because I researched, what all would I have to give my parrot if I was just going to give them fresh foods? And the list was like just so long and tall. And so I was like, okay, I can't do that. Like, how do I make sure you didn't eat enough broccoli? You need a bite of that carrot because you need to get this vitamin. I'm like, forget it. You give them pellets and they get A to Z kind of thing, including the calcium. So even if your parrot doesn't have a poor diet, let's say you give them the fresh vegetables, but you're not hitting whatever's going to give them the calcium, then the egg can't form. There's a lack of calcium. And so instead of like a nice shell of calcium, like an egg shell, it can be a little not skin, not a membrane, but it's just wobbly. It's and then what happens is the parrot, who generally uses muscles to push the egg out, well, I think it basically clogs them. And if that egg is soft, their muscles are trying to grab on, but the soft egg moves with the muscle. And you have to run to the vet and hope that the vet can take care of this, because in my case, she was like, if it's a soft shell, there's nothing we can do. So it's like, oh my goodness. So number one compelling reason, then you can just like dismiss having to worry about your female hen parrot being egg bound. Next, compelling reason number two, when I go to the vet, and with over 20 species of parrots, I've been to 5 veterinarians in my greater area. And every time I go to the vet, they always ask what the parrot's diet is, because that's paramount in the things that can affect them. Now, when I say pellets and fresh vegetables, and then seeds if they're a seed eater, nuts if they're a nut eater, the vet kind of changes demeanor, drops the diet, and I can tell, like I can almost see them just kind of going over here. Okay, this possible problem eliminated. Now we've narrowed down the field. So that's how significant it is to an avian vet that my birds are getting a pelleted diet. They totally dismiss whatever I don't know what they're thinking, but I can tell. And I've gone to the vet a couple of times, so I've learned to read this in my vets. So if you want to feel good about that, it doesn't mean you have to give your parrot only pellets. Maybe, you can choose how much you give your parrot, but it's got that A to Z, and I haven't found anything better. The third compelling reason, if you have more than one parrot, especially if they're in the same cage, but if they're sharing food at all, one of the things that happens is there's a pecking order. With that pecking order, although I don't think they're called alphas and betas in the parrot world, we've got the top peckers and the bottom peckers. Literally, that means that the top peckers, we see it. They go to the food first. They get first choice. The bottom peckers, you like my classification? Those bottom peckers, they kind of get the leftovers. When you have pellets in the cage, your bottom peckers, I need a better word. Please post below and give me the words. Those guys, they're still going to have a nice, healthy diet. So, you don't have to worry that some of your parrots aren't getting kind of like their fair share. Maybe they aren't getting the carrots, like my green cheek conures, they really like carrots, or whatever it is. But the point is, now everyone is getting a good diet. And for me, that's the way I want it to be. That's compelling to be. Reason number 4. Now, there are different schools of thought on this. For me, I believe that my parrots should have access to pellets 24/7. Some schools of thought say, no, they shouldn't have access at night. Here's why I think it's really important. Number 1, parrots can only go a day when they're smaller parrots, and 2 days, as per what I understand from my experts and my avian vets, when they're larger parrots, without eating. At a day and 2 days, depending on the size of the parrot, there's trouble, it's bad trouble. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't have pellets in your cage, your parrot's going to starve. That would be silly. But what I want to point out is that if there are pellets always available, it means that whenever your parrot's hungry, they can go and eat. This is all meaningful to me because, my parrots can't tell me when they're hungry. Sometimes they nip at you, that's true, but I'm not with my parrots 24/7. When they're hungry, I want them to be able to eat. It's not like I think they're going to starve overnight, but if they have pellets available, they're definitely not going to starve overnight. If my parrot always has food available and they're losing weight, I know that it's not because I missed a meal. Like, did I forget to give them? And to make things a lot easier for me, we have SOPs, standard operating procedures. Vegetables go out in the morning, pellets are available 24/7. Now, the second thing that's really compelling to me about that is that I do have some parrots that will come and eat in the evenings or at night. My yellow-naped Amazon has pellets available to her all day in addition to those fresh vegetables. And still, when I bring her up to her cage at night, because she occupies a special position in my bedroom, she will often go and have pellets at night. She'll go, she'll eat her pellets, she'll drink some water. Maybe she's more comfortable in her cage. I don't know. I also see her eating pellets during the day. Now, this Amazon has had problems with her health in the past. I adopted her as an adult with problems. So I feel like it's working out well that she has pellets all the time, because when she's hungry, I want her to be able to take care of her body. It makes it easier for her body. My golden conure is not similar. I got her young. She doesn't have any problems that I know of, but I hear her eat in the middle of the night sometimes. Like, I'm sleeping and I hear crunch, crunch, and I kind of wake up and my golden conure is eating. I don't want my parrots to starve. It's really significant to me. Like, I just, their metabolisms are fast. They're not bears. They don't hibernate for the winter. When they're hungry, I want them to be able to eat. That's just huge for me. Now, the fifth reason for pellets being such a good thing, once your parrot is accustomed to the pellets, then if you want to go on vacation and you have to board them, or let's say, heaven forbid, your parrot has to go and stay with the vet. I don't know if veterinarians sit there and chop veggies and hand them out 2 or 3 times a day. Like, I can't say. But I do know that if I send my parrot and they have to stay with the vet for the night, or like I said, if I go on vacation and someone's watching, then at least, when your parrots are used to the pellets, again, they're not going to starve and they have something familiar. They're like, oh, these are my pellets, I'm going to eat my pellets. It's just going to offer a layer of comfort, a layer of non-stress, because if all of a sudden your parrot's given pellets or something and they're used to vegetables, they might not transition well. Like, that could be stressful. So for me, it's a lot easier for them to just be accustomed, and I don't have to worry if I want to go on vacation or something like that. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I don't think pellets are the world's greatest thing. I really don't. We all know pellets have corn and soy. And while I don't think corn is the evil of all worlds, although I don't eat it because it's not good for my body, I don't think it's necessarily bad for my parrots. I do believe that everything in moderation and a well-balanced diet is really key, and therefore my birds get a balanced diet. But I do feel like those are really compelling reasons to have the pellets as a part of that balanced diet, not as the diet, but as a part of it. I hope I've gotten you kind of thinking. I hope I'm helping you prepare for that blissful bond, because, for example, like, can you imagine anything worse than creating a great bond with your parrot and you're giving them fresh vegetables, but like you go on vacation and then you find out they've been starving while you're gone because whoever couldn't get them to eat their vegetables, or, I don't know. And so, like, anything for me, anything I can do to ensure the health and well-being of my parrots is just paramount. And chances are you feel that way too. Parrots are exotic pets. They bond at an incredible level, and they're not cheap, so you gotta love them to death, right? All right, thank you for joining Ale, who is being loud, and I in this blissful video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. If your parrot is stressed out for any reason, make sure to get a bottle of Tink's must-have parrot relief on parrotbliss.com. And did I already say like and subscribe? I did, and comment below, and I'll catch you next time.